ministers here, the clergy, Janet and your children, our big family, friends, and all mourners. It's quite difficult to talk about someone who is not living and someone whom you grew up together, whom you followed and you grew up from childhood up to the time when he died, and when you've been together close all the time. I will take a little bit of small time, some of your time, Charles, maybe to talk about Keith and our life, our lives. As I had indicated, I'm the one who follows Keith immediately. We were 7 children. Our elder brother, Joshua, died last year, and he was buried. So we were 4 boys. Now we are remaining 2, me and Julius, we seated here, and then 3 girls who are around. Keith was my role model and my mentor. When he was in secondary at Ntare, and I was in primary in Nyabitete, he kept telling me, encouraging me, and saying, I want to give you some history so that you see how Keith has been a pillar for our family, as he has always been, as how people have talked about him, how he has been a pillar to the country. He said, Dennis, you must work hard and come and join Ntare and find me in Ntare. So I tried my level best, worked hard, and I joined him in Ntare school in 1977. 1977, he was in senior 5, I came in senior 1. Then later on, when I was doing AJC, he again encouraged me and pushed me and said, you must work hard, go to university and do economics. And that's what I did. I worked hard, went to Makerere University and studied economics. Thereafter, I stayed with him in the same house with some other relatives and friends before and after he got married to Janet. Keith, as I have indicated to you, he was a pillar, and it's not only that he was supporting me. I will not go into all the details of how he has supported other members of the family, but I will maybe talk about myself, but that's how he supported others as well. He was a very reliable person and dependable, and that's how we and as a family, my sisters and my young brother lived with him, and he supported us in school, because when he got a job in 1982 with the Minister of Finance, he took responsibility of our family to support my father and my mother, supporting them in respect of our education. And he pushed everyone in support of our parents until all of us reached somewhere. He was also took the responsibility of looking after my parents, taking them to hospitals for treatment. And actually, much of the time they would be coming and get treatment from here in Kampala, in his house. So when we also got our jobs, yes, we joined him and we started support, but mainly because he's the one who got much higher education than most other members at that time. He was the one who was pushing us. And I want to tell you that it was not the micro family of Kazrenyi that he looked after. He looked after other relatives and even friends. He had a big heart and he was looking after each and every person. And he was always looking after me and other relatives closely. Keith was a Mlokore right from childhood. Thank you, Prime Minister. Keith, he took responsibility for all of us, relatives and friends, and he looked after us. Because for him, I would maybe summarize it into saying that he was committing his service to mankind. I would say that. When we were staying with him in Ugorobi, when he got his first house, a flat in Ugorobi, some of us were not very Barokore like him. So for him, he was not drinking, he was not doing. Actually, I also wanted to give you some background to know that actually Keith was a Moroccan from childhood. When I went into school, because people could relate me with him, they could say, hey, you are Keith Muhakanizi's brother. Hey, okay. Then the big ones who were close to him, who had watched him more in Ntare than in my own case, there is some terminology the students at Ntare used to have. Boys who used not to go into having girlfriends, they used to call them vegetarians. So when I went to Ntare in Senior 1, they said, hey, you are Keith Muhakanizi's brother. Don't become a veg like him. Everyone will be saying, you want to become a veg like Keith? I said, I will try not to become a... I'll try and... not to... So as I tried to diverge from him, I was telling you, in our flat in Ugorobi, when we were staying there, for us, we would go out with some of my cousins of my age. So at one time, we went out, and when we came back, we came with some friends of ours who had accompanied us. And because he was responsible, and he had seen these friends in Ugorobi, he had seen them, and that was the time when AIDS was taking people very badly. Very badly, very badly. So when we came with our drinks. We went into the sitting room. He had his room, and I was also sharing a room with that cousin brother of mine. So we came into the sitting room, started making our fun, chatting, and whatever. Then Keith akatandika kushaga because he didn't want these friends to remain in the house. He would go to the bedroom, come back, look at us. again go back to the room, come back and look at us. So, and those were the days when drowning was a way of scaring away from people, scaring away from contracting AIDS. So what he did, after realizing that actually these friends of ours are still in the house, he went to his bedroom. There was a trunk. There was a trunk in the bedroom because he couldn't get any other way. He opened the door that was going to the corridor, and he started dreaming, Papa, 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 Papa. So all of us now, we got the message. And we started laughing. So at the end of it, we accompanied these friends, went away, and we came back into the house. That was the case. Something else I want to tell you is that Keith was always worried about my health. I have had 2 open heart surgeries, one in 2007 and another one in 2015. And I also got a stomach surgery in 2011. And because of my health condition, Keith was always worried about me. Now you see, now Keith, who was healthy and didn't have any issue, and he was worried about me because every time he would see me and say, whenever I would say I want to go back to India for some review, he would get worried. Now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? He would be inquisitive to know what I'm going to say. I'm going to do some review. So he was worried about me, but that's life, Matu. That's life, Matu. Now Keith is the one who is no longer with us. He was reliable, he was dependable, he was my role model, he was my mentor, and each and every person in the family. He was committed to his work. When he got a job, Keith, even on the way maybe we thought that this man is going to get mad, he would be talking about macroeconomics, development economics, every now and then. In his sitting with him, he wouldn't be discussing anything else. Yes, you would discuss other issues, but quickly he would bring in macroeconomics, he would bring in development economics. That was his thing. And what I know is that he also became so overzealous about his economics and development economics, because when NRIM came into power, he knew that we are going to push, that Uganda is going to push the economics of this country for it to become a first world. Every time he would be talking about development, this time we would achieve 10%, this time we would achieve whatever. And he was so committed, so committed. 7 o'clock in the morning, he would be in office. Every day, he wouldn't miss. Let him go to his farm in Yantonde. He would make sure that he comes early on Sunday to make sure that he doesn't miss working. Whereas at times they would say that civil servants, they can cheat time by putting a coat on the chair and get out and do some things. But for him, he was committed. He knew that this economy is going to develop into a first world economy. But you know, the economics of third world are so tough that you can push it to develop, but it will not achieve like what he thought he would achieve. He was so overzealous about that. I don't want to take too long. I have indicated to you that actually he was dependable. He supported the whole entire family, the villages. And as I have indicated to you that he committed himself to the service of mankind. That's how he was. Every development activity that would even be whether school development, whether whatever, he would champion it. He would champion it to make sure that the society of Uganda gets out of vagaries of poverty. So at the end of that, I want to take this opportunity to thank the government, like Professor Habasa has said, for extending a hand to treat him and extend his life. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for being there for us. You are being here the time when we were in Milan. This therapy that you extend this family is unmeasurable. There is no how the therapy that we got to comfort the people in this family, you can measure it. The only thing that we can also promise is that we should also extend the same therapy to our friends and relatives when calamity comes to them. I want to take this opportunity at the same time to thank Janet and Zalvador. Thank Janet for looking after Keith, not only when he was sick, but the time when you became one with him up to the time when he has passed on. The time, like Professor Habasa has indicated, the time in Turkey, the time in Milan, it was tough, but Janet is also very strong character. He could stand on, and even when I found her there, because for me I went on 8th and arrived in Milan on 9th. But to tell you the truth, every day Janet would be strong that Keith is going to become okay. But it never happened. But I'm saying, even the time when they called us, actually she's the one who called me, because I couldn't book in the hotel where she was. I booked in a hotel which is nearby. So when she went, that day they would allow 2 people to visit him in internal an ICU. So Catherine was her turn to go with Janet to check on Keith. When they reached the hospital, they told her, because they would first brief her, that now your husband is going. So she got out and called me and said, please, Dennis, come very fast. I came running that very day. It was raining. I had stayed in the room because I knew that I was not going to visit. I came running, reaching there. We went into I said, if you want, you go in. We stood before Keith, and he passed on when we were there. Twamuhinya, twashasha, nicho cyabireho ahamheru twatanga communicating n'abantu. Charles, I know I have taken much of your time, but to know that actually for us, Keith remained with us. Me and Julius and Keith, we've been doing business with him, private business, because where we worked, for some of us left the jobs to go into private business, and me and Julius and Keith have been doing business together, private business. So with those words, I know there are still other people who want to speak. Jargaba and Bishop Muhima, thank you so much for coming to be with us this evening. Jargaba is my OB. Actually, I think Jargaba is my age mate. For us, the cases were ahead of us. So, I pray that God rests the soul of Keith eternally. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dennis, for that moving tribute to your brother. We are now remaining with just very few of the last tributes. I would like to share with you something that I experienced. On the 4th of March, I received a call from Keith at 7 o'clock. And as you know, he would go straight to the subject. He said, there's a nickname he used to call me. Let's go straight to the subject. We were preparing to have a consecration of our bishop. He said, how much money are you going to spend on consecrating the bishop? What's the budget? I told him. Do you know there is a school that is in very bad shape in the neighborhood? I said, yes. So why are you doing that and not devoting the money? I said, I can't answer that. He said, do you know the school I have renovated in Chitojo? I said, yes. When I come back, I'll put up a campaign to make sure that we renovate that school in Rukunji, near the church. A few other things he mentioned, which I can't repeat here, but he was so passionate about education. Now Keith has come, his dream is not fulfilled, but we pray that it gets fulfilled because he was passionate about education. I would now,
Sorry, one more chance. I forgot to thank our ambassador in Italy, Her Excellency Elizabeth Napeyok. I don't know whether she's here. She should be here. If you are anywhere here, please stand up for recognition. When we had this problem, she came and remained with us. And all the logistics of returning Keith here, she was with us. And she's the one actually who was guiding us because of being in Italy. She sits in Rome. She came to Milani and remained with us entirely until the time when she accompanied us, and she's here. Elizabeth, thank you so much for that support you gave us.
Thank you. We shall now have Catherine, accompanied by your brothers, come and give your tribute. Thereafter, we shall have Mr. James Kahoza, and we shall conclude with the Right Honorable Prime Minister.